Hey there, I'm Jolly Julian, and as you know, I come to you with videos on the hardware in virtual reality, my experiences in virtual reality, and the games themselves. And that's what I want to do today. I'm going to do a little gameplay video. Now, don't worry, if you don't love gameplay videos, if you don't like watching people play video games, if that's boring to you, I understand. So I'm going to do it a little different way here. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to give you the highlights of this game, and I'm going to be talking about it after I played it. So I'm going to be showing you what I played and then talking about the experience I had and the reflections I've had on it a little bit as well. But I'm going to keep this nice and short. The game we're playing today is HELLBLADE Senua's Sacrifice in virtual reality. I'm Jolly Julian, and let's virtual our reality with Senua as she sacrifices in HELLBLADE. Let's go. So to fill you in on kind of how this works is typically in this game you're playing in third person, and that's what I'm doing here as well. The VR version did not turn it into a first person game, and I actually really like that because you need to see the character as you're seeing right here. You need to see the character to really get invested in being that character in this particular story. There are cutscenes like the one that you're seeing right now that you can see it's a little smaller on the screen because what it did was, in order to make this comfortable in virtual reality, some of these cutscenes it took and made them 2D on a screen in front of you so that the camera movement didn't make you sick because you're not in control of the camera movement. Now, I don't mind that at all in certain instances, but as you can see right here, you see how it zooms up like that and now all of a sudden it's filling the screen. Now I'm back in virtual reality, and one of the things I loved about this game is that it actually changed that aspect as you're playing. So after you watch a 2D cutscene, it zooms in, and as it zooms in, it turns into 3D and you're in the 3D world. Then you can wander around just like this. Now I'm controlling the main character, Senua, with the Xbox controller. So this game does not have full VR controls, and you know what? It's fine for that. I, just like most people, I prefer a game whenever possible to have VR controls and full immersion and so forth, but there are games that I've played that warrant a shout out, like this one, even though they don't have that kind of full immersion, because I'll tell you, I felt fully invested in this game, largely because I became invested in our main character, Senua, by being her, like this, looking around, and you can see how I can look around like I just did there. Looking around by just turning my head and so forth. Now we're back to a little cutscene. I fast forwarded a little bit here to another cutscene because I wanted you to see a negative to this game right now as I was playing it. There is a weird VR negative here, but it's kind of creepy. Look at this. Look at this. Because of where I was seated, I was so close to her face that when she leaned in, I actually could see inside her head. And it's while this 2D cutscene was playing behind it. So it's really a little weird, but I wanted to share that with you to show you that things are not always perfect. Now, this game is made up of fighting and puzzle solving and incredible story mechanics. Now, here's a puzzle solve right here. I came up to one of these doors. I saw this little icon on it. I pressed, I think it was the left trigger and right trigger, and it allowed me to see that I have to find this symbol somewhere in the world around me. So I'm wandering around, and it starts to show you with the symbol popping up that you're in the right area. And right there, you can see I found that symbol, did the right trigger, and boom, all of a sudden it solved that puzzle, and I am able to open this door. Really kind of a cool puzzle solving aspect. For me, it got a little redundant a couple of times. I had to do it a few more times than I would have liked. I would have liked maybe a couple of other puzzle mechanics to also augment that. But I enjoyed it a lot because it's a puzzle mechanic I haven't seen a lot in flat screen or virtual reality. There's climbing mechanics, all of that done just with the push of a button on the Xbox. Yeah, in a perfect world, we'd be climbing like this, and it would be first person. But again, this story, I don't think you could have told nearly as well if they made you first person. Now here you can see I'm going to another area where some puzzles are going to have to be solved. You see here's a doorway that I have to go through, and I see that it's got this symbol on it when I press the right trigger on my Xbox controller. Now I assume what I have to do is I have to find that symbol in the world and look at it exactly the right way, get my character positioned exactly the right way. So I start wandering around to see if I can find that particular puzzle, and I don't see it anywhere immediately. But what I am noticing is there's this area right here where I've got a drawbridge that I can knock down. So that was kind of telling me I had to go in that particular direction. So I knock this drawbridge down, walk across, and there's this interesting kind of glowing sphere. It's almost like a portal. And as I look around, I realize that I notice something different when I look through the portal a certain way. So I walk around it on this side. I'm looking around. I don't notice anything abnormal. But look at that. Okay, look at that. Through the portal. All right, I'm going to go back and then walk back again. See, the door is closed there. Then it's open when I look through the portal. So then I go through the portal, and now that door stays open. Another cool puzzle-solving mechanic that I really enjoyed, and I had to kind of discover this as I went along. There's no tutorial. It puts you right into the action immediately, and part of the fun is the discovery. I hope I didn't spoil that for you here, but I don't think it's going to detract at all from your enjoyment of the gameplay if you decide to play HELLBLADE Senua's Sacrifice in virtual reality or flat screen for yourself. Now here I'm going to climb up this ladder here, and now you're going to see one of the other mechanics coming up here as well. There's also fighting in this. So there's puzzle solving, there's fighting, and there's a great story. The story, by the way, is set in Norse mythology, and there are runes that you can click on, and they will give you some background on Norse mythology in an interesting storytelling way that I absolutely loved. So I feel like I learned some stuff about Norse mythology, which is fascinating, by the way, as I went through this process. All right, so here I am in a new area, kind of looking around, trying to figure out what to do. We got another door up here. I wander up to that door, push my way through it. And it didn't let me open it because I'm going to have to fight. Now, the fighting mechanics here are really kind of cool. It's all done with the Xbox. You know, I would prefer to be doing this with my VR controllers, but it's not set up for that. That's okay. It is button mashing. But the animations of Senua, the feelings as you're doing this fighting, it felt really visceral. You dodge, you block, you're slashing, and so forth. Now, this is one of the early fights, so it's one of the simpler ones. But you have to fight multiple creatures sometimes, just like this. As it goes on, the fights get harder and harder. You can also set the difficulty level for the combat in this game, which is really nice. I think I had mine set right in the middle, my first and only time playing through the game. So I set it, I always tend to set kind of in the middle, not the lowest setting, not the highest setting, and that's what I did here. But there's a really nice, the animations are great, the feeling of lunging at someone and slashing at them and poking them and stabbing them and kicking them away. Really quite visceral, despite the fact that I'm not using VR controls, because again, it's in 3 dimensions, it's covering my entire view. I felt really invested in these fights. Every time I got hit, I felt like I could kind of feel it, even through the third-person view. Again, it's a game that on the surface I wouldn't have thought I would thoroughly enjoy, but I found it on sale for like $9, a really good deal for this game, probably because the sequel just came out. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. Played through the whole thing, never regretted a second of it. All right, so we're coming up here toward the end of this video. I don't want to spoil the video. This is all stuff that happens at the beginning of the game for you. So I don't want to spoil this game for you at all. Here's another symbol that I had to find. And I saw it kind of floating. There are pieces floating up above me there, as you can see. But I had to figure out how to get to the proper height to be able to see them composed together the proper way to unlock. And here's another one of those portals. See how it's kind of glowing? And when I walk around the side of it here, look at that. Look at that. Let's walk back. See the wall across the way? It's stone. And now I walk back, and there it's open. I'll tell you, I was really proud of myself and very giddy when I discovered that mechanic playing the game. And even if you don't get to discover it for yourself, if you know here, the first time it happens, you're going to love it. It's really, really neat. Now I can climb up here, get the height that I need in order to be able to see the symbol down there. I got to line it up just right. Boom. Do the right trigger on my controller. Boom. And there it is. Solved that puzzle as well. And now I'm ready to run back down and go through that door. All right, so again, this was just a quick gameplay video. In virtual reality, again, you've got to picture it like it is in 3D, full size, filling your vision. Even seeing it on a flat screen, it's like playing it flat screen, and that is not what it felt like being in the game. So if you already have this game and you have a virtual reality headset, I can't recommend highly enough that you try it in virtual reality. Even if you don't have a super powered computer, It doesn't cost you anything to try it out. Get in there, connect your headset to your computer, and see if you can play it at all. And even if you have to dumb down the graphics a little bit and so forth, the immersion aspect of being in this in 3 dimensions, having it all around you, the sense of scale and everything, I cannot tell you how incredible the experience was. All right, again, I'm Jolly Julian. Thank you for virtualing your reality with my reality. Please like this video if you enjoyed it at all. Please feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. I've got more gameplay type videos coming up. I've got a special type of video that I'm playing with right now that's going to be coming up that is unlike anything I'm really seeing out there. I'm going to be interested to see what people think of that. And of course, I will have hardware videos and so forth talking about the headsets and what's coming in VR news as well. Talk to you on the next video.